talk, I would like to welcome Professor Sanjeeva Srivastav from the Department of Bioscience and Bioengineering. He is the group head of Proteomics Laboratory. His research interests includes proteomics, protein-protein interactions, drug target discovery, etc. So, handing over to Professor Srivastav.
Great. So let's welcome all the students, incoming students who are going to join very soon the campus. I'm Sanjeev Srivastava from Department of Biosciences and Bioengineering. I'm sure you must have wondered that what biology is doing here in this engineering campus. But given that Professor Athre in the beginning, the Dean R&D, has mentioned to you that this campus provides you a lot of opportunities, open opportunities to really get exposure of various fields, and that is not limited to even biology or humanities. And as this Professor Asim mentioned to you, that you have to be very open to learn new things, because the way future is changing, you have to really adapt the new things very smartly. And there is no substitute than to really think about how biology is going to change the world, right? So I work in the interdisciplinary area of protein research, especially proteomics field, which is aiming towards studying the large number of protein molecules of any system, any life system. And we want to apply that on different clinical problems, especially cancer and other type of infectious diseases. For doing that, I'll just take you briefly for this field of genomics, and which at least some of you might be aware of, that how the understanding the blueprint of life, the genes, have really given a lot of boost for understanding different type of complex problems, right? Earlier we had no idea that even what constitutes us, what makes it so different individuals from other type of organism. But now by looking at these molecules of life, especially starting from DNA, you know that what is the genetic code of a given individual. If there is something going abnormal in the life system, is there some sort of mutation is happening? How to identify those kind of unique changes? And that's where when you think about studying one molecule, it's probably easier. But when you want to look at thousands scale, the problem becomes much more complex. And that's what we are trying to use with the latest technologies, like the field of proteomics and proteogenomics, how to try to understand these complex systems by looking at these beautiful molecules of life, the DNA, RNA, and the proteins. And again, if you're looking at the cell and you want to screen through these molecules, if you can really understand them well, then probably you can provide very unique information for a given individual. Mr. Asim just gave a very nice lecture and also given you a couple of interesting points that the same shoe size of 8, 9, 10 may not be flexible for each one of you. You need a very specific size which you'd like to use, right? And it's much more important in the field of the clinical field, especially for the therapeutic aspect. The same drug may not work on every individual, given that we are also different, we are also unique, and that's where the field of precision medicine comes into the play. We are looking into many of these aspects of research, which is quite interdisciplinary in nature, also quite applied in nature. We work a lot of clinicians from around the world, especially a lot of Mumbai-based doctors and hospitals, where aim is to really dissect out these complex diseases and really look at them at the molecular level. And all that can be understand in this growing field of proteomics or proteogenomics. Again, if you are just looking at some common symptom and the blood test, you cannot identify the complete picture. But if you can start looking at the exact molecule which is making the change, exact mutation, exact modifications, then probably you can give much more precise information for that given individual. Also, most of the drugs which are currently given in the clinics made by all the pharma sectors, they're all proteins. The question comes that whether the precision medicine which I'm talking is a reality. So for the time being, let me take you to the future of this field, which is not very long. You have to just wait for a couple of years' time to see how the field of medicine is going to change. So meet this future Adam, and who's going to get some treatment for the he is diagnosed with cancer and he's going to look for his treatment. So in this particular clinic, he's going to not only get his blood test done and the physical parameters being measured, but also he's going to be look for all the changes which is happening at the molecular level, which are all genes are getting altered in this individual, which are all proteins are getting modified in this individual. So now every cell by cell is going to get a scan, and that information is what is going to be really crucial if now you want to really understand this individual at a very, very personalized level. All this process, which is very fundamental in biology, but requires a lot of engineering devices, lot of engineering based solutions, different type of big data analytical tools, and without that, it is not possible for us to really look at these complex, any biological system. So in this case, now if this particular individual who has now been diagnosed with cancer, you want to give them a drug, only one specific drug is going to work for that individual. And you want to apply a generic drug, it may not work out for every individual. And that's where you have to understand that what is really unique, which is changing in this particular individual, and is this particular drug, the receptor is going to bind with that particular drug molecule or not. And if you already have this particular type of knowledge, knowing, with the experiments, with the actual data, then what you are doing is, with the very targeted way of therapy. Otherwise, what is happening is very blinded therapy that, you're giving any kind of chemotherapy and any kind of drug treatments to any individual, right? So this is where I hope you are understanding that why we are trying to bring these concepts of interdisciplinary nature of research, where the fundamental concepts of biology, the clinical problems, as well as different type of devices, different type of big data solutions, all of that together can transform the field of future precision medicine. This is one of the very relevant cartoons, which is giving you the idea, but it's already happening in the world, and it really got big boost in Barack Obama's time when in the US, and I'm sure with the Joe Biden becoming president, it's going to much more flourish in US and other parts of world, where the field of cancer moonshot and cancer proteogenome research is really going to make huge difference. So this is not going to be any more just the cartoon, but the realistic picture. Brief glimpses of the kind of work which we do in IIT Bombay. We have set up very advanced proteomics laboratory at IIT Bombay, which is equipped with variety of instrumentation and technologies, especially different type of mass spectrometers, microarrays, next generation sequencer, heavily funded by the government and other type of industrial partners. We work actively on different clinical problems with Tata Memorial Hospital as the collaborating hospital, and we try to look into various type of complex brain tumors. As you can understand that the brain tumors are very deadly tumor. So understanding them, that what makes them so different. Also, what is the molecular feature which is really important to target. That's a machine learning type of tools are very handy for us to identify from the thousands of protein which of the proteins can be major node for this targeting this. And then we take those targets forward for the testing them on the patient-derived cell lines or the cell culture models or the animal model to test out these, how effective these therapies could be. There's some example of another brain tumor, which is the glioblastoma multiforme. And likewise, I think we have expanded this particular field of research and partnered with other countries as well, which is now forming a consortium known as ICPC, or International Cancer Proteogenome Consortium, which is having 31 institutions, and India joined as the 12th country, which we are leading from IIT Bombay along with Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. Idea is that can we take most prevalent cancer of India, especially the cervical cancer, breast cancer, and oral cancer, and try to dissect out at every individual level what are the gene mutation happening, what are the post-transition modification happening at the protein level, and how to integrate that big data set. Then various countries which are partner to these particular program, how they can collaborate, how they can come together to make this consortium, to share the data, share the knowledge, and come up with the solutions which could be beneficial for the all the countries and the humanities. So these are some of the major initiatives which is happening in our lab, and this particular term cancer moonshot was given by Joe Biden from US, at that time vice president, which has led to the new research of the cancer proteogenomics in whole world. Idea is that for each patient wise we are creating database of their genome mutations and their protein changes, and all of those are really imparting new knowledge in the field of precision medicine. As I said, we do not want to work in the blinded manner, but rather we want to give the target therapies looking at the very specific molecules of interest. So at IIT Bombay, we are, really involved actively with many faculty from different departments, from the different engineering discipline as well as mathematics department, who are all helping us and working together to look into how to really utilize this big data information, use artificial intelligence to really make good predictions. And also this could be converted to some good devices for the translational value. Toward this end, I went to NIH, National Institute of Health in US, and that's where we signed this MOU of ICPC with Dr. Henry Rodriguez, which led India to become the partner of this big cancer moonshot project. And we are now collaborating with several clinicians, several researchers and scientists from across the globe who are all looking into the similar kind of issues but sharing the data. And this is one of the Cancer Proteogenome Consortium group, which we annually meet. But likewise, we have a lot of ample opportunities in IIT Bombay to expand the scope of the learning, and really would like to welcome you to this new era of proteogenomics field, which does not have any boundaries, the way cancer do not have any boundary. Likewise, the field of cancer proteogenomics and field of proteogenomics does not have any boundary. It really requires a lot of interesting budding mind and enthusiastic students like all of you to really be part of it and contribute towards this part. As I said, in this particular space, when we look into the high throughput field of big data analysis, we also thought how to utilize this in the pandemic region, and we utilize that by developing certain newer approach of looking at COVID-19 diagnosis at the protein level from the mass spectrometers, and also we are applying different type of other approaches which can do the diagnosis of SARS-CoV-2 much effectively and probably much cheaper as compared to the routine diagnostics. But more importantly, we are looking at which of the protein biomarkers which can make prediction that how a patient who is coming with a mild COVID symptoms, whether they might be progressing toward the severe type of the symptom. And at the molecular level, at the protein level, can we identify and indicate which are the proteins or metabolites which are going to really change and this patient might be moving towards the severe type? Which are the possible repurposed drugs, already approved drugs, which could be utilized in this particular area? So all of these are kind of, the field which we are like to expand. Also, some of you, I think, you posed a question briefly. I saw something on the vaccine. I would like to say that, the vaccine targets are still need to be much more researched. We need, multiple epitopes-based vaccines, and that's where the new understanding about looking at epitopes of the SARS-CoV-2 peptides using protein microarrays, which one of the project which we got funded recently, is going to be quite useful and provide new information. Finally, these are some of the recent publications. This paper just came today in the Nature Communication Biology from my lab, which is a good collaborative work from another faculty from our department and faculty from mathematics department and a lot of clinicians around to look at what makes malaria disease more severe and complex. And so again, the transition from the mild symptom and mild fever to the severe type. And this is a paper in Nature Communication which we published last month, which first time showed that what is the protein composition which makes us human, and at the 90.5% of the human proteome we are able to map in this particular large international initiative project. So a lot of exciting things are happening. Now coming to a slightly boring part, but the realistic part, you have to take the basic biology course BB 101 in the next semester, and I'm sure you will have a lot of hesitation taking this course, and you will have a lot of apprehension that what you're going to study in this course. But at the end of the course, we are committed to change your mind, and we are going to give you a lot of interesting examples that how best you can utilize these applications for different type of applications, real life applications, interface of biology and other type of engineering discipline. We also invite many clinicians to interact with you and give you the real life problems in the course. Given this situation, we might invite them even online to interact with you and give you the exposure of what is really the major medical problems where engineering solutions are required. Also, we try to give you some exposure of the lab activities, even in the lab in this theory course, to give you some comfort that how these kind of biological data are being generated. But all of those together is going to be not the very conventional biology which you have been exposed and you did not like it. We will try to change your mind. That's all from my side today. So thank you for watching this presentation, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Let me have a look on the chat box and see what questions you have. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, sir. It was a really nice talk. So I'll help you with a question in the chat.
Yes.
Will the treatment become more expensive because medicines will be made from start for each patient according to his or her genetic behavior?
No, medicine will not be costly because medicines are not going to be made overnight, right? Like you have seen even in the case of COVID-19, you don't have too many options of medicine. Medicines has to go through a lot of testing and the clinical trials and the safety efficacy test